Just how worried should the rest of Australia be about what we're seeing unfold in Victoria at the moment?
Well, we have been very worried about that situation, but I'm much less worried this morning, I must say. Very strong and proportionate response being made by the Victorian government, which will get on top of this situation in North Melbourne and protect us all.
How did we not get on top of this quicker, though?
Well, look, it's an evolving situation. Those numbers have escalated over the last few days. Partly that's driven by the very extensive testing that's happening in those suburbs and throughout Melbourne right now. Well over 100,000 tests, I think, since Thursday. So that's a major escalation. We're going to find more cases when that happens, and the decisions were made yesterday. They are strong, they're proportionate to the situation, and I'm confident that that will get on top of the situation in Melbourne.
Well, are we more likely to see more suburbs locked down if these numbers continue to go up?
Well, we're looking very closely, and that is always a possibility. But at the moment, they've looked to where those cases are really coming from, mainly in clusters of families, but there are also in the wider community, and so that's why those three elements that we've had from the beginning of chasing down this virus: testing, tracing their contacts, isolating people that are infectious or have been potentially infected, looking at those social isolation measures that have been in Melbourne up until recently and have been relaxed over time, and essentially creating a border within a state, which is what's happening in relation to those 10 postcodes.
Paul, when were the issues with hotel quarantine raised with you, and also the fact that returned travellers were refusing COVID tests?
So the issue with the hotel quarantine has been known for some time. There are two of the hotels in Melbourne that have been hosting returned Australians coming back to Australia. We know there had been an issue there, and it appears that that's been the major driver of this issue in the wider community. So it just demonstrates how infectious this virus is and how important infection control procedures are, and that's why there's going to be a judicial inquiry into that element in Melbourne. And your second question, sorry, what was that?
And when you were made alert that these returned travellers were refusing to be tested?
So, yeah, the refusals, that's something that the Victorians are working on. It's an issue, I think, of explaining to people why it's important, and so that matter's in hand now.
You know, restrictions are being lifted further in New South Wales today. I mean, could we see something like this happen, this sort of suburban lockdown? Is this the new normal?
So it was a good news, bad news day, really, wasn't it, yesterday? So very good news that New South Wales is increasing gathering sizes and so forth, and relaxing some of those measures, and also, of course, the border in Queensland announcement. Those are very good news, and really a demonstration that if we work hard together, keep our eye on the ball in relation to this, we can get on top of this virus. But the situation in Melbourne demonstrates the opposite, which is that it's so infectious and can rapidly get out of control, at least in a localised situation like that. And sometimes those drastic measures that we've had to do before may have to be reimposed. We've said that all along. In this suppression strategy that we have, there will be likely outbreaks, hopefully of small size. So this is a bit larger than we would have liked in Melbourne, but we're taking those responses absolutely appropriately right now.
Well, incredibly strict steps are going to be taken now. Let's see how things play out over the next coming weeks and month. You got to feel for all those people being forced back into quarantine now. But Paul Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.